Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Have You Seen This? Season 2, Episode 1. We're here to talk some TV news, some television shows that we watch, some television shows that we don't watch for multiple reasons. And multiple different, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I wanted to mention that, we're going to talk about like several different television shows, one of which I have absolutely not watched at all, but that will be fun to talk about and speculate about anyway.
You haven't seen Flash yet?
Oh no, I was talking about Picard.
By the looks of your head, I thought you'd seen an episode or so.
No.
I didn't want to judge. I wasn't going to judge you. You can wire whatever you want.
Yeah. Anyway, so other than that, we got the birthday boy here. We don't have his name, so I think it's Snark.
Guys, milestone birthday this year. 29.
He's turning 30, right?
29 years old this year. Last one of my 20s. Oh my gosh. Got to hanging on to this one, guys. It'll be a special year.
Yeah. All right. And before we jump into that, we do have a little bit of some sad news to talk about as well today.
Mm-hmm.
We have the passing of a couple of television actresses. We have Ray Allen, who was she was the aunt on The Sopranos. Yes.
Right.
She's I actually have not watched The Sopranos, so I wasn't super sure about who this was, but I was actually more interested in the article as I was reading it, because she did like a million different things. She was a Tony-winning stage actress, as well as a TV actress. Did a ton of things. She passed at 95. So
in her prime, cut down in her prime. That's a shame.
I mean, a very full life and a very a great one to have, I assume.
Yeah, it is.
Very fun, very comfortable in a lot of ways, but yeah, it's always sad to see the passing of actresses and actors that people have loved watching in the days.
And to be fair, like I did watch The Sopranos. I was every Sunday watcher of The Sopranos, but like just going into my head, like it's been a bit since obviously I've watched it, but yeah, unfortunately I'm having trouble placing who she was on the show. I couldn't think of it. So
yeah, she was Quintina Blundetto from The Sopranos. It does say she's pretty known. I guess she was just like a recurring guest and wasn't like a huge major character. And then we also have the passing of Estella Harris, who was this one's a little more
of course.
Like I knew exactly who this was when I saw the article, and I mentioned in our chat I first recognized her. I do recognize her from Seinfeld. I have never watched all of Seinfeld, but I've seen a bunch of different episodes when it was on. It's one of those shows that would be on multiple times a day on any given channel because so many people wanted syndication rights to it. So I've seen a lot of disjointed Seinfeld episodes, and
that's one of the beauty things about Seinfeld, though, is that you can tune in at any one time, and it's not like you have to get caught up. It was never a soap opera. It has some things that strung together and stuff like that when George was engaged and stuff like that. But it's an evergreen show. Like we could just pick an episode and dive in. There's so many bottle type episodes there where they're just which is great.
not like even today, even in comedies, there are so few of them that you can just pick up and watch any episode of, because like so many things are telling like that meta story on top of each episode, so
Yeah, this
it
wasn't it.
gets hard to follow. Even
Yeah.
Community, like
It was a show about nothing. They weren't trying to build. They weren't trying to make you think. It was a show literally about
mm.
knowing nothing about it and still enjoy the episode. And yeah, her loss is going to be felt, of course. Such an iconic character as Mrs. Costanza, and Jerry Stiller and her were so good together.
Mm-mm.
So many classic episodes like Kramer and the Stop Short. Yeah, and she was an important part of that show, and it's widely considered one of the best sitcoms of all time. A lot of people don't like it for their own peculiar reasons, but I love Seinfeld. I loved her on it, and yeah, it's sad that she's gone. But again, she lived a good full life. This wasn't like tragedy struck.
Mm.
She lived her life. She's earned her rest. Let's say that. Good. She did a good job.
Yeah, again, she just has an entire like Ray Allen has an entire list of accolades. She's from Mrs. Potato Head to Muriel in Disney Channel's Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Now,
uh,
were you a Toy Story guy? Did you watch? Like I saw, I think I saw the first Toy Story. I don't think I saw anything other. So I would never have thought of her being in it. I just knew that
mm,
Cliff Clavin from Cheers is in it. I know he was one of the guys.
yeah, I actually have not seen the entire Toy Story franchise. I haven't seen the two new ones, but as a child, yeah, I watched Toy Story pretty much all the time. I was more of a Lion King and Aladdin fan than Toy Story. Like
Yeah, right.
growing up as a kid, I would gravitate to those movies more, but
See,
not that I didn't like Toy Story, and it does one. It's what made Disney buy Pixar,
really?
but also like they were distributing it and made a ton of money off it, and so they eventually like it's not a Disney movie technically, but it's what convinces them to later acquire the studio and then pump out movie after movie after movie based on that.
Getting the factory moves, but I guess a lot of people loved them like even more as they went along. So I guess yeah, they did the right thing or whatever.
But
Uh,
this ain't no damn movie podcast. This is a TV podcast.
Screw movies to hell forever.
Until I get a do I have a Toy Story TV series? I don't want to be yelling about it and be wrong, but
They never
until I get one, we're
never
not
did
going to cover
that
it.
hour show at all. They never did that. They
I'm
never
not
had
sure,
like
honestly.
a kids show or about it. I'm surprised. You'd figure they try and milk everything they can out of it, but I guess not.
Yeah,
I guess they make their cash.
I guess depending on who you have to cast in it, because I also remember the cast of that being pretty prestigious. So you would need some convincing voice actors or to be paying some pretty large bills, and people weren't doing that in the early 2000s. Then we also got an interesting thing that I just saw here about the Simpsons. We have after 33 years, which is insane. Every time I hear what season The Simpsons is in, I can't believe it. Why is that show still running?
It was on when I was in high school,
Mm.
which, of course, since I'm only 29, was only 11 years ago.
Right? Which, I mean, I was about to say, like, yeah, the show is 6 years older than I am, which is incredible.
Yep.
And I don't even understand that. Uh, and yeah, so it's an episode that Lisa meets
Mm.
I one of her music idols, and either he is or his kid is. I can't
Bleeding
remember the
Gums.
entire article off the top of my head now, but
It's
it's
Bleeding
a
Gums' son.
yeah.
Bleeding Gums' son. If you're talking about
Okay.
they've hired the first deaf actor to work on
Yes, yes.
the Simpsons. Yeah, playing Bleeding Gums Murphy is like Bleeding Gums Murphy is Lisa's hero. That's
Hmm.
why she plays saxophone is because of Bleeding Gums Murphy.
Yeah. And then like she meets the son, I guess, and he is deaf, and they hired the first deaf actors, and also the first like use of American Sign Language in The Simpsons, which
How
like
difficult is that going to be? Holy hell! How are they going to do it? It's because it can be so nuanced. How
mhm.
long is it going to take them to? Yeah, that's incredible.
Honestly, like that is crazy, and like I do want to watch that episode just out of pure like curiosity,
Yeah,
but also I'm kind of surprised the Simpsons are still doing new things, because the Simpsons already did it is like a classic like phrase.
yeah.
uh and I I'm really like it's really cool, and I am going to watch my first Simpsons episode with interest in who knows how long. I cannot remember the last time I watched The Simpsons.
I think the last time I saw a brand new episode of The Simpsons may have been 2003, maybe 2004. So it's been a bit. It's been a little
Yeah.
bit, and then I think the newest thing I've seen from them is I watched the movie that
Mhm.
came out. I've seen that once. That's all I
Yeah.
need.
I don't think I was still watching the show like concurrently when the movie came out, but I was definitely watching it sometimes, and
Somebody's
I watched that movie. That movie was really great. But
yeah.
uh
Somebody is watching this show. This show is still on. There's people watching it. It's making them money, so they've
yeah.
got to be doing it here somewhere. Like they've got to be paying attention to it somewhere. I don't know if it's
Mhm.
because maybe it's outside of North America or something like that. Who knows? But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not
we're
sure.
watching. And I guess Fox wouldn't give two shits if somebody was watching it in England or something like that. They couldn't give two shits if we're watching it here in Canada, and we're the only country that matters. If you ask me,
I've always
we have
thought
the littlest
so.
hobo. What's that?
Hmm?
I'm just trying to defend Canada's top television history. The
Of
littlest
course, of
hobo.
course.
Red Green, everybody. The Red Green Show. If they can't
And
find you
yeah,
handsome, they better find you handy. You know what I mean. I never had
as we move on from The Simpsons, we have one other thing
sure.
to get on to.
Yeah.
Uh, we have season 2 of Winning Time is coming. Uh, I'm not sure. Is the whole series out? Was it dropped as a whole series? Was
No,
it
they've been airing every week. I'm not sure how many episodes they're
okay?
doing. I think they've done 5 episodes now.
Mhm.
I'm not sure what the run is supposed to be though, but it's been 5 fantastic episodes, and it's the show that every week when it comes out, that's the first one I want to see. Is Winning
Yeah,
Time. So good.
it does seem like I've kind of been waiting to let the episodes build up, because I'll binge a bunch of things. I literally watched 4 episodes of Survivor in a row earlier last week. So
On the current
yeah,
season, like, are you up to date on the current season? The one that you
no,
are heavily involved in?
I'm not actually up to date because they don't have the last episode on Paramount Plus, but that's a whole other story. We'll get to that in segment 2.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so I'm not sure exactly where this season of the series is going to leave off, and if they're going to again freaking making a series about the Lakers. You could literally make it about the exact same team, or you can make it about a completely different version of the Lakers, or a different, like maybe season 2 of Winning Time is a series following a different frickin' basketball team. Like, I don't actually know what season 2 is going to be. All I know is there's going to be a season 2.
It's only going to be about the Lakers. It's based on the book Showtime, which is the Showtime Lakers. So, you are you caught up with it? Do you know?
No, I have like it's on my list of things to watch, but
like this is going as far back as like the Civil War for you. Like it might as well have been 100 years ago and stuff. But so what's happening now is a bunch of things that I didn't know what happened. Like I knew a few things, but even this was I was around for this allegedly. And then like I knew of things that were happening, but basketball just wasn't very big here in Canada. It was hockey. I only cared about hockey. And then so I knew about Magic and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, of course, but I didn't really start hearing about the Lakers until a little further on, and especially when it was Magic versus Bird in those early, like in the first 6-7 years of the 80s and all that when they're going against each other. They haven't even introduced Bird yet. Yes, I would imagine that could be what the second season is going to be, and finally, Bird stuff. But we'll see. Like I don't remember, and it's killing me. It's killing me not to go to Wikipedia and stuff like that and jump ahead. It's like, oh yeah, and like I know Westfall and stuff like that. I know he coaches and stuff like that. But I know what Pat Riley does. I know there is a lot. There is a lot that I know, but I can't piece it together. So I'm trying to let the show. But it is hard not to skip ahead. It is hard not to just cheat and find things out. But I'm enjoying letting the show do the work for me.
Yeah, and that's actually how I feel about the show we're going to talk about in our main segment, because I still know absolutely nothing about Moon Knight, and I love keeping it that way.
Right. Yeah. I was going to ask, but we'll get it.
Speaking of documentaries, though, the one that I did watch was the Tony Hawk one that came out on, I believe it's HBO Max, so crave for us. It's like a 2-hour documentary. It was really interesting, talking about like the entire rise of skateboarding, how he and his father essentially shaped it, and it was really cool and really fun, and then super depressing as well in a lot of different ways. Oh yeah, because I don't know, like a lot of them especially kind of treat skateboarding much like an addiction, and like it is destroying them. Doing hard impact sports like destroys your body, and like a lot of them like actually talk about that in the interviews, and about how they are like slowly breaking themselves down, and one day they're just not going to be able to do this thing that they loved forever. And it does get pretty depressing.
I get it. I get it, man. I have the same boat. My thumb is killing me these days. Sometimes I have to switch over to the other hand or whatever. It's fine after that, but it can get. Oh God. Oh, the sleepless nights. I got remote. Not the best. That's what happens when you get older. I can tell you that. And you body starts breaking down, thumbs start hurting. Sometimes it's hard to sit for a while. Sometimes you got to shift how you're sitting. Sometimes you're like laying down on the couch. Come on. Who's got the time for it?
So, interestingly enough, we do have to start moving into segment 2, but we don't happen to have our producer.
Yeah, he's probably
I'm not logged in.
Have
So,
another drink, Dave.
let's just say there's a big banner that comes up and it says, "What are we watching?" And while we wait for Dave a couple more seconds to see if he can join us to talk about Survivor, did you say you watched that Ultimatum show, or you were looking at it?
I watched the first episode.
Yeah,
this is something unholy. I was really into it. I think this would be 100% right up Dave's alley. Dave would love this crap. I was at the feeling where I've seen the first episode. I don't know if I like anybody at all on this show, and I hope everybody's feelings get hurt, and I hope everything turns out a wreck, because how stupid are you for doing a show like this? You're an idiot. But I'd like to figure out at the end. I just skip ahead to the end, to the final episode, so I can skip all the meat and the baloney drama that these people have all caused themselves, and just see if I was right about, oh, everybody's hurt. Okay, good. Yeah, you're a fool. These people are fools. They are ridiculous. Who would do something like this? It's like, oh my God. I've been in a relationship for 12 years. I couldn't imagine for 1 second ever saying, you know what's fine. Why don't you just go and shack up with this guy for 3 weeks just to prove that you love me afterwards? I was like, what the fuck? What are you guys fucking talking about? This is stupid. It's a stupid thing to do. So yeah, am I interested? Am I interested in seeing the wreckage afterwards? Sure, but I don't want to watch the car crash. I don't want to actually see the body go through the windshield. But if the tarp's over the body on the road or whatever, it's like, oh shit, is that what happened? All right, that's my rant about that show. It's a 2-episode show for me. The first one, the last one. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit about any of these people? They're all ridiculous. Yeah. And that's another one that's done by Nick Lachey and what was his wife's name? Vanessa? Is that right? It's Vanessa Lachey. She's on the new.
You cannot ask me anything about reality TV.
NCIS Hawaii. No, it's another one of the procedurals that my wife loves. So
there are 9,000 of them. They're all more or less the same.
It's like, oh, this one's in Hawaii though. Oh, this one's in frigging New Orleans. That New Orleans one, maybe some of the worst television I've ever seen in my entire life. It's fucking terrible. Oh my God. So they also have another show, and I don't know if that other show they do, is that the one where it's the blind dates or something like that, where you can't see each other. You have to get married.
Is it Love is Blind?
Love is Blind, I think. Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
The ghost is back. I guess he finished his bottle. I guess he's slumped back into his chair after finishing his whiskey. That's fine.
That's hurtful, Snark. That's hurtful. I just had a lot of tech problems.
Oh my gosh. The ghost is back.
Well, if Dave is going to get a lot of tech problems, I hope at the very least, he's the only one.
Yeah, what kind of a fool has tech problems just before or during a show?
I don't know. I could not imagine, except for literally all of us. We're terrible.
How dare you? How dare you, sir?
Hey, season 2, bigger and better budget of $0.
That's it. We got ghosts.
We got it. So another thing, have you seen this Picard show? I actually have not watched yet, but
I enjoy it. I know that a lot of people don't find it to be like true Star Trek. I find it just to be almost like just like a series based on a movie. It's not typical Star Trek, but if you want to use a movie as like a bottle type episode, that's what the first season was like, and it's what the second season feels like. The second season's been good so far. I've enjoyed it. It's another one of the ones I watch with the wife. She's enjoying it. I'm a Star Trek fan. I wouldn't say I'm a Trekkie or anything like that, but I do enjoy Star Trek. I've seen three of the series so far. I haven't seen Voyager or Enterprise or I've seen the first season of Discovery. So yeah, I've seen quite a bit, and I enjoy it. I enjoy the characters. It's Picard in the show, I think, is over 100 years old at this point. It's 105 or 110 years old. Mm-hmm. So yeah, because I guess people live a long time now in the future. So he isn't as spry as he was and stuff like that, but because he has that evergreen hair or lack of, he's still quite similar, and the eyes are there, but you can tell the voice is a little weaker and stuff. But having 7 of 9 on there is cool. The new characters they put on there is great. There's they had the Borg Queen's been on the show, and what they're doing with her now and stuff is going to be fun. The time travel thing, I'm not a huge time travel guy unless you're a doctor. Then I'm a time travel guy because you can go anywhere. Every time Star Trek does a time travel thing, they seem to go into the exact time and place of where their production is, just because they can just go outside or whatever, which is fine. There was a lot of, or they used the back lot at NBC or CBS or whatever it was to film like from the 30s and stuff like that, because they had all the game movies. So, but it's good, and I think they are doing one more season after this, or is it 2 more now? So they're having a run.
I was just reading 3rd and final season, and like the specific thing that we were to bring up is that the original cast is going to be kind of joining him in this last season.
It'll be a good way to wrap it up for them.
I don't know how exactly the whole story is set up for that, because I have not been watching the show, but it's kind of cool. I guess for fans of the show, I hope that the rest of the cast is as excited to come back, and it's not kind of just everybody. It's kind of what I worry about with Futurama too, but was everybody on board, or were a couple of people dragged along by majority,
Well, Riker and Deanna were in the first season. And Data and versions of Data as his human creator / father and stuff like that has been in it a lot as well. I'm trying to remember. I don't think Geordi's been on the show, and Worf definitely hasn't. Q is the current big bad of the show. I don't know about. I don't think Crusher has been on. I don't think either Wes or Beverly have been on the show yet. So there's a few. I could see someone like Wes being on the show, but he was never a huge fans were not big fans of Wesley Crusher. For whatever reason, I didn't give a shit. Beverly Crusher, you could get in at any time because she's a doctor. But Worf would be the big one for me. I'd love to see Worf.
Was it just because he was younger than everybody else?
Maybe he was annoying.
I was just thinking he's the young annoying character. He's Don from Buffy. He's
yeah, that's a good way to put it. But he was always on the show. He was on the show from the first episode, I think. So he was always there. So he eventually left the show. But he was always there. So it wasn't like this is new. I think he was one of the first people you see on the Enterprise, if I remember right. I think it's that first episode. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I know he's there from the beginning because he's Beverly's kid, so Beverly Crusher's kid. So, and they were all good. The Crushers were good friends with Picard. His Wesley's father was good friends with Picard. Blah 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 blah. So yeah, he was always there. He was just kind of annoying, and I don't know. I think a lot of nerds were maybe jealous that he got to put on a Star Trek uniform and they didn't.
What else? Oh, sorry. That was sort of more supposed to be to myself, but yeah. So, what else would you kind of hope to see in either is season 2 done yet or almost over?
I think so, but I think it may be over soon. I didn't watch it this past week just because Tanya was down south, so I'll catch up again when she's back. But yeah, I don't know what's like. They were still in the past. I guess they're in 2024 or something like that. You know what I mean? 2025, Los Angeles, of course, too. Anywhere in the world, it's Los Angeles. And for some reason, every once in a while, they're at the Picard Vineyard in the back in the early 2300s or 2200s, whenever Jean-Luc was a kid, and now his great grandmother or something like that is a part of the show as some kind of astronaut. So that's all I know so far, and them trying to get back because Q has screwed up the time continuancy again. That's why they had the Queen of the Borg to help them get back, and blah 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 blah. So it takes some work to watch it at the beginning and stuff like that. But if you want to see people get hit with laser guns and stuff like that, you'll be happy. There's laser guns. That's all I give a shit about.
Yeah, I mean,
not there to people work out their problems peacefully when you have a laser.
Right? And just why you watch a Star Wars show to see someone swing a lightsaber around. So
why I watched Dynasty.
Like as long as I get cool frickin' space vehicles and cool lightsabers, and yeah, just lasers are cool, I guess, is the bottom line. Anything made out of lasers is already better than a thing not made out of lasers.
Agreed.
Sharks with laser beams attached to their heads.
How dare you bring that up?
I know. Again, that's a movie. It's a movie starring a Canadian legend.
That's strike one,
it's
Dan.
Still a movie.
That's strike one.
Actually, it's strike two. You weren't here for the first one.
The ghost is going to attack you 100%, buddy.
We talked about Toy Story for way too long.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, any Toy Story conversation that lasts over 1 minute is way too long, guys.
But speaking of Dave, does he want to jump in and talk a little Survivor? Because I actually watched some of this show and had quite a lot of fun.
Oh, good.
First of all, I would love to jump in. I always love jumping in to talk about Survivor. But first of all, Daniel, what did you finally watched this season, except for the most recent episode? He has not seen episode 5.
Yes.
That's the one where all those people get killed.
I know. I'm so looking forward to it.
What season is it where Jeff Probst says the winners are going to get whatever they get, and then the losers will be taken and executed? What season is that? What season is that?
I don't know. Maybe it's
my favorite. I haven't seen it yet, but I'd say it's my favorite season.
That's the one with Rupert?
No, I think. Oh, it might be. It's either Pearl Island. Oh,
yeah, it's a pirate one, right?
It might be Pearl Islands. I think you might be right.
Yeah.
Okay. But Daniel, while I look that up, why don't you tell us what you think about the first Survivor so far? Do you understand what's happening?
Yeah. Do you get it?
Yes. Like I understand enough that and have learned enough through osmosis, especially just hearing it from you guys the last few weeks. But one thing I really have a problem with is why they don't have 2 cool snake idols.
Oh my god, Daniel. It's like they forgot to fucking. It's like they forgot.
I just want Like I just feel so bad for the team that gets the stand every time. I'm just like, that's so sad.
Also, Survivor Nicaragua, by the way.
Oh, okay, very good.
One of the worst seasons.
Yeah.
Still my favorite.
They should have
because-
executed those people.
Yeah.
They should have. You have to, guys. This is it. This is Bloodsport.
Half that cast quit. So
15 of you will perish.
but so you're enjoying it aside from the the obvious just shitty thing
Yeah.
being
I this last episode that I watched, because we have been off for 2 weeks, so we are supposed to cover 2 episodes anyway, right?
Yeah.
Episode 4 was very difficult for me because the 2 main people on the chopping block were my draftees, and they were at first allied and then immediately broke alliances and tried to backstab each other, and one of them just played a little bit better, and
one is Romeo Andrea who played better. It wasn't Tori or Swati's decision.
Oh yes, but again, like really depends. I think the better decision would have been to send Tori home, because she is, unless you assume you're going to win the next challenge, because we are getting close to merge, right?
This week is merge.
Oh, this week is merge.
Yeah.
Okay. And yes, so there was episode 5 still to go, though, right?
Yes.
So they don't end up back at council. It's a good thing. The one reason I would say that is a difficult thing to do is you do need to survive one more vote and hope that Tori doesn't backstab anyone, because she'll probably find a way to dig her own grave once the merge happens.
Yeah. Daniel, you have no. Are we spoiling episode 5 for you?
I already do know quite a few things. Like, I don't know the exact nuances, but I know who went home. I know.
So you have no idea how right you are about the right decision being to send Tori home, because they get back to camp and they're all talking about, okay, guys, we're going to be a strong 4 going into the merge. Like, Swati was running around doing all this shit, but like the 4 of us, we're going to be together. And Tori, in front of everyone, is just rolling her eyes and mouthing, no, we're not. And then in confessional says to us, so privately, so we have to assume she's telling the truth, when I get to the merge, I'm flipping on these guys immediately.
Excellent. But also, I don't blame her, because that's one of the most dysfunctional of tribes. It's very funny.
Oh my god.
I mean, there's one functional tribe in this season, and everybody else who's very mad.
Yeah. Now, my favorite thing about episode 5, other than Daniel already knows that unfortunately Daniel's trunk will be the one who goes home. My favorite thing in this episode, though, is something that is actually not on the episode, and it is the conclusion of Potato Gate. Rob, are you aware of what Potato Gate is?
I'm not, but I know that when she was saying it or whatever, like, we got a potato. Like, how did they get a potato? I was like,
Yeah.
You talk about it at home.
Yeah. But she's just like, oh, we found a potato. But no. So in both the preview they showed at the end of Survivor 41 and the like sizzle reel they showed at the beginning of this season, they showed someone finding the beware advantage on the blue team and reading their phrase, I have if potatoes have skin and I have skin, am I a big potato?
Right.
And we all assumed, based on seeing Tori's face and hearing Tori's voice, that it was Tori who was going to find the idol. and everyone was so mad because this is ruining, because like you're not worried that she's gonna go home when it's her Zach, because she finds the idol and we haven't seen that yet, and then it's her Swati, and it's like she can't go home, she has to find the idol. And this week the Blue Tribe's idol was found, and it was found by someone who isn't Tori. They just lied to us. Did they make up that soundbite? Did they grab it from her postseason? What happened?
I assume postseason, or possibly like
they're multiverse.
I don't know. Yeah, like maybe
two exact same copies of Survivor happening the same time.
Wow. And we're seeing the version where where Tori didn't get the idol. And I don't mind that, because, you know, more advantages to our Canadian Queen Drea.
Sure.
and
there
yeah,
are so many advantages in play, though. Like, how does that, like, she has 4 advantages.
She has the amulet, which is, I think it's a disadvantage, because that really just marks you for death. It's like the other people want to vote you out so that it becomes more powerful. She has the extra vote that she got from Shipwheel Island. And then she has the idol now.
She has the idol now.
Yeah, so she got 3 things.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Well, you know, Xander had a lot last season, and it didn't help him win.
Such a great season last year.
Such a great season.
So good.
Oh, my God.
And then, yeah, so does everybody reveal the phrases then? If she does it, does Mike do it?
Yeah, Mike does it in maybe the worst way possible.
It was terrible.
So you've seen Marianne. She does the
hers is awful as well. Yeah, everybody knows she has one.
Well, here's the thing that a friend of mine.
Everybody knows she has a weird thing that requires her to say this phrase.
So everyone on the orange team knows Marianne has the idol because she told everyone. And everyone on the green team knows that Mike has the idol, right? So
probably know that Marianne has the idol as well, because they assume it's the same challenge for her.
But so what happened anyway was Marianne says her phrase, then Drea says her phrase, and then they're about to move on. And Mike's like, hey, hold up, Probst. I just got to say, there is such grace in the game of soccer. It makes me cry. Now you might wonder why I'm saying that. And he gives like this long speech about one of his kids.
Humor or something like that.
Yeah, and like the editors clearly did him a favor, because it must have been a very long speech that he did.
Here's the thing, at least with that, they can never do this again.
No, they cannot, because now everyone is on it.
Yeah.
Even though, so here's the thing though, Daniel. So everyone on the Green Tribe knows that Mike has his idol, and he has now announced it. So everyone on the Orange Tribe knows that Mike has his idol. Romeo found the idol with Drea, but it belongs to Drea. So Drea says her phrase. So because everyone on the green team and the orange team know who has the idol, they now know Drea has the idol. Romeo knows the phrases because he found the thing with Drea. So he knows who has the idol. Yep. So the only 2 people in the game who don't know who have idols or why these people are saying these phrases are Roxroy and Tori. All of this was just for Rox and Tori.
Excellent.
Roxroy, your future winner of Survivor 42.
Gets the first confessional of the episode saying, my social game sucks. I gotta say, I really did like, since we are just to talk about it a little bit, I really did like this episode and the downfall of Daniel.
Yeah.
You know, it starts out, you kind of see the writing on the wall from the very beginning, where Daniel's talking about, you know, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna go out spear fishing and flip-flopping around. It's gonna be so much fun. And then it cuts to the beach, and the rest of the tribe is sitting on the beach being like, so he
can't do challenges, but he can go fishing.
That is exactly what Hai says. And then they get to the challenge, and they are like, all right, you guys are the only tribe with 1 extra member. You got to set someone out. And Daniel's like, I can offer no value here. So he has to sit out again. And the look on High's face when he says that is like, oh, this fucking guy.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure Daniel was my last pick.
He was.
So,
Yeah.
if I was to lose between the two of them, Chantel or Daniel, or Chanel and Daniel, I'm glad I lost Daniel. Chanel has so much work to do too, but thank God the tribes are merging.
And Daniel
slip in and disappear here.
Oh, I also lost my last pick.
Yeah, you lost Swatty. Hey, who still got all 4 of his guys? This guy.
Somehow they're gonna get multi-eliminated.
No, fucking. You know who's gonna get
an alligator pit.
You know who's definitely gonna get eliminated in the merge episode? It's gonna be Jonathan.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Because he can win everything.
Because he's a giant.
Well, so now it goes from team immunity to just one person has immunity.
Mm-hmm.
But they've already said that they're pretty much running back season 41 and doing a lot of the same things. And Rob, do you remember what happened last season at the merge?
No, not at the top of my head.
So they split into 2 groups,
right?
And ran a challenge. And 2 people sat out first of all. Then they ran the challenge, and one team who won was all of them were going to get immunity at the merge, and you could only vote for the other people.
I do remember what happened now. Sure. Okay, yes.
And then one of the people who was not picked for the team, Erica, who is the eventual winner of the season.
And where's she from?
She is from Canada. Oh, Canada.
Right.
Interesting.
First, she gets sent to a special island all by herself because she didn't get picked. And she will, at this point, be able to be voted for. And then Jeff rolls in and says, here's an hourglass. If you break this hourglass, what happens is you and all the losers are safe, and all the winners can now be voted for. And obviously everyone was very upset about it.
Mm-hmm. Not too upset.
They were so mad that they couldn't even edit around it. At tribal council, they're yelling at Jeff, being like, "This is freaking ridiculous." But anyway, and it's a 2-hour episode this week, so I assume they're going to do the hourglass twist again, and I also assume Jackson is Jonathan is just going to win the challenge for his half of the tribe. And then someone like Lydia is going to flip the hourglass.
Yeah.
And he's going to be eligible to get voted for. And they're going to say, we need to vote him out.
As soon as that man doesn't have safety, he's gone. He has to be. Everybody's seen it.
Yeah.
Like, if he is here, he will win.
Yeah. In this particular season, I could see somebody on his team choosing to do that. Like, exposing themselves just so everybody can vote Jonathan out.
If you were on a team and you lost and you had the choice and Jonathan was on your team, would you break the hourglass?
To make myself vulnerable?
To make you would keep yourself vulnerable.
You have to make yourself vulnerable, but you're going to convince people to vote Jonathan.
On the block.
No, because then I immediately lose the game. Because here's what people can't be mad at you for. People can't be mad for you taking safety away from them to make yourself safe. What they can be mad at you for is taking their safety away and also taking your own safety away. They're like, what the fuck was that? And all the losers who you gave safety to are going to be like, that was kind of stupid, Dave. You're next. We don't like you.
Do you think they would have told them if she didn't break the hourglass? Do you think they would have mentioned that to the tribes?
Well, there's no world in which she doesn't break the hourglass. Yeah. So,
yeah, like in the scenario I proposed there, you might not break it because it would expose you. But if it literally makes you safe, you break it every time.
Yeah. I think Jonathan's only hope is that him and Marianne are able to come together, be good old friends, and say, Marianne, please play your idol for me. Because this is actually an unprecedented situation where we've never had a merge with a 4-4-4 tribe breakdown going into the merge. So it's all up in the air.
This is where all those walks come into play.
Exactly. Oh my God. Roxroy and Lydia had the worst walk.
And I have them both. Like everything revolved around everybody I fucking picked.
Just
this whole episode.
Just both of them protected their vote. Why? Immediately in Survivor 41, the survivors broke the game and they were just like, okay, you get the extra thing and I don't. That's fine, but we'll be friends later. And this time, just nobody can figure it out.
Yeah, because they're all conniving assholes.
Did you say to see who voted for who?
What? Why? Yeah, why did Chanel vote for Mike?
Why did Mike vote for Chanel?
Well, because he was splitting to make sure that if Daniel played Shot in the Dark, that she would go home.
That's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. Was like I was like, why did they write Mike? And that was the last thing. It's like, what is she doing? She was my number one pick.
Yeah. By the way, Daniel, would you believe that the Green Tribe, which had 5 people going into tribal council, was able to tie the vote?
They failed to send Daniel home in one swoop.
Yeah, they had to do it again.
Because for some reason, Chanel. So the situation is Chanel and Daniel both know it's one of us. So Hai and Lydia are like, okay, we're gonna vote for
Daniel's
Daniel.
just like, I'm willing to go to Rocks.
He should have. Well, there was a revote, so there wasn't even an option.
I know, but also like that line would have just been killer because it would have been contrasted to his I'm not willing.
Yeah. But like, so in this situation, Lydia and Hai vote for Daniel. Chanel and Mike, vote for. Wait, Lydia and Hai vote for Daniel. Chanel and Mike,
vote
Daniel
for each other, and Daniel votes for Mike, I assume.
No, he votes for Chanel.
Yes.
So it's 2 votes Chanel, 2 votes Daniel, but then Chanel votes for Mike. And it's like, that didn't change anything except show that you don't trust the people that you're here with.
Mm-hmm.
Because if Daniel got immunity from the Shot in the Dark, she still goes home. Her 1 vote doesn't matter.
Well, wouldn't it tie it between her and Mike and supposed to vote between them?
No, because it would be 1 vote Mike, 2 votes Chanel.
Oh, yes, because Daniel's vote still counts.
Yeah. It's weird, man. It's a weird situation.
Yeah.
Strange.
I actually thought you had to give up your vote to do it.
Oh, you do, actually. So it would have, but then they would have just voted for Chanel. Oh, I guess. Oh, fuck. Oh man, I didn't even thought about that. Because then maybe you say vote for Mike, get his idol out because he can't play it on the revote.
Yeah, and
oh my God,
I think that's just like why she did it. Is just like worst case scenario, I need to possibly make a 1-1 tie between me and Mike.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, that's been Survivor. I'm really like I'm liking the season.
So we got a couple more minutes before I have to go, so we can talk about everybody's favorite Marvel superhero. We can talk about The Flash some other day, obviously. There's still a few more episodes in the season anyway. So
I'm gonna leave so that you guys can talk without me rambling.
Yeah. So this Night of the Moon. How have you been liking it?
I've liked it. You know, it's not my favorite, but I think Ethan Hawke is fucking awesome. He's the best part of the show for me. I think there's some weird things to it, like the voice of the moon, god of the moon or whatever, just how he talks or whatever. I'm not a fan. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of Oscar Isaac's fake British accent. I'm really not a fan of anyone who does a fake British accent. to tell you the truth. But the show is good. Like when the action parts are going, and it's really good. Like when he keeps going in and out when they're in the cars and stuff like that, getting chased around. Is that Switzerland that they might be in? I'm not sure. But when he's escaping from that town with the scarab, I fucking loved that scene. That was awesome. Like, and just fucking went, well, what the fuck is this? You know, a little too much or whatever, just moping and stuff like that around London and stuff. Yeah, whatever. You know, it isn't going to be perfect, and but yeah, again, I've enjoyed it. I had no expectations going into this. I had no idea who the Moon Knight was. I've heard of him. I've always known he was a character in Marvel Comics, but I never read any of it. So it's been interesting. Yeah. You know, when he had just the suit part on, it got a little cornyish, but it was fine. It looked cool. And if this suit can do whatever he wants, then it could make it pretty interesting. But again, I'm not really sure what the powers are. I like the little moons or whatever he could throw, like bats, rings or whatever, or bat throwing bats or whatever they are.
And on the other hand, I did kind of find the suit bit pretty amusing. I wish either it's like a 7 out of 10, I would say, of a bit, because I thought the posh British suit was very funny, and then the taking off the jacket, rolling up the sleeves, and getting ready for a fight. And I think if he had just whooped the Jackal's ass right there, and it was done, and then he popped back to himself, that would have been a very successful bit.
The thing that
if he had properly suited up after fighting it once or twice and being thrown around. I think it just spread out too long of him being goofy, and I don't know.
For me, it would have been again, I'm always waiting for things that get earned. So when he does the things up there and he's like this or whatever, ready to fight, it's like, what has Steven shown that he would ever have the confidence to do something like that? That's the only thing that I got. It's like, that's why I wasn't a big fan of that bit. It's like, I think that's something they could have used eventually. You know, wait a couple of episodes until this guy knows that when he's Steven, that he knows that he can do these kind of things. He has a little more confidence to do something like this. Just to do it right away or whatever felt.
Although yes, you could have done that too. Literally make it jump at him, make him cower, and then it just bounces off his fist. And then he goes what? How? And then he punches it once and his brain just explodes. You would need a lesser monster for him to be fighting. But I think that could have been done better.
I think that thing would be a lesser monster for them now, right? Something that this guy just pulls out of the ground, like a jackal.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know what the hierarchy of all of the monsters that we've seen are. I don't even know what all of the monsters we've seen are, because he keeps seeing a million of them. I don't know which ones are real and which ones he's imagining.
Do you Yeah. Well, I think who knows? Yeah, that's strange, eh? When they show back the video footage, but you can see there's edits and stuff like that. It looks like it's edited.
Yeah. And then later, even when he's fighting the Jackal live, you can tell that nobody else can see it, and that part I thought was really bad. Actually,
it is there though. Eventually, you see it when that girl throws the thing at him, and you can see it is there. They're not fucking around. He isn't guessing.
Yeah, they're just invisible. Yeah.
Right.
Only the avatars can see the crazy shit. Yeah, they need to be in avatar form. Oh my god, can we just talk about Avatar instead?
Nope. Daniel,
come back on.
Daniel, I would love to. We were supposed to talk about Avatar for so long.
I know. It's literally since my last TV podcast.
Okay. I thought you meant the blue avatars. No, like
Oh,
you're
no.
the last Airbenders or whatever they're called.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I don't anime.
And yeah, like I am very interested in like the story that they're telling with the gods and all of that, but I feel like there's not going to be enough episodes of this series because they're fitting so many things into these 2 episodes, but some of it is just like falling between the cracks, I find. And I maybe when I watch it like a second time after all of the episodes have aired, it will be more succinct, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure how they're going to pull off a lot more in such a short time.
You just have to trust the process with